A few days ago, I was in the city centre here, and I went into a discount store. I needed some shampoo. So I went into the store, went down the aisles, found the shampoo, picked it up, brought it to the checkout, and just as I approached the checkout, the man serving behind the counter made this gesture. So I put my shampoo down, he picked it up and he put it behind the counter, and again he repeated this gesture. He did not say anything, and I did not say anything. I simply left the shop. Now this is the shop EuroGiant in Georgia Street here in Dublin, well-known shop. Now I'm 79 years of age, and this is the first time in my life that I have ever been refused service in a shop. Why was I refused service? Well, I was wearing my Israeli badges, which I always wear. Now, this is, let's say, a minor incident. In the grand scheme of things, it might not seem very important. But here in Ireland, yesterday, we had a new president inaugurated. This woman, I think her name is Connolly, I might be wrong, but this woman will now serve 7 years as president. And she is very left-wing, very woke, and she loves Palestine. And of course she condemns Israeli genocide and all that. A very left-winger, extreme left-winger. Now, as I say, she was inaugurated. The ceremony was yesterday. And prior to that, we had a president who served 2 terms, 14 years in all. This is Michael D. Higgins, and he is rabidly pro-Palestine and all that goes with that. So I mention all this because there is a huge anti-Israel, anti-Jewish, whatever name you like to give it, there's a huge anti-Semite and anti-Israeli sentiment in the media, in the quote-unquote mainstream political sphere. There's real hostility to Israel, anything to do with Israel. In fact, the situation in Ireland has become very ugly, really ugly. Not long ago, well, a few months ago, while the war was still going on, the things were so bad that the Israeli ambassador, well, they closed their embassy here in Ireland. Now, I've been wearing these badges for quite a while now. I've had a lot of people stop me in the street. Most of these people weren't happy. But having said that, they were polite. There was no aggression. So that's fine. But the general atmosphere in Ireland, if you're Jewish, well, you don't see any Jewish people on the streets of Dublin now. I never do. There's only the number of Jews in Ireland, it's in the low hundreds. I'm too lazy to check the number now, but it might be 300, maybe it's 400, something like that. And, well, you never see Jews. I don't know how long it is. There's years and years and years since I've seen someone who, let's say, looked Jewish walking along the street in Dublin. I just haven't seen it. But anyhow, I'm waffling a bit, but I would say that if you did look Jewish walking around the streets of Dublin or anywhere in Ireland now, you wouldn't be safe. There's a lot of real hatred against Israel or the Jews or whatever way you like to put it yourself. But there's a lot of open hatred. There have been huge pro-Palestinian demonstrations here in Dublin, and they have been huge, huge. But well, I'm waffling on a bit, but that was 4 days ago that I was refused service by this shop. Now, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I left my flat here to go across the road to get some messages. And as it happened, there was a football match on. I'm not a big football fan. And there was a team called Shamrock Rovers playing. So anyhow, I left my flat, went down the road, and I bumped into this very large cohort of people marching down the street. Shamrock Rovers fans, a lot of them drinking, a lot of noise, firecrackers going on, all that. I got there and sort of looked. I wasn't expecting it. I was just wondering who the hell are these people. And I heard someone shouting, Zionists. And I think, excuse my language, I think it was Zionist cunt. So I started filming at that stage. Now, Shamrock Rovers, it has as I say, I don't really follow big football in a big way, but they have what would you call it, a supporters sort of section. And these people they often turn up at political demonstrations shouting, fascist scum off our streets, fascist scum off our streets. They're supporters club. It's very political and very left-wing. So watching all these people passing by, it was a bit, it felt a little bit intimidating knowing that these people wouldn't be very happy with someone wearing Israeli badges. And I actually felt quite nervous, a little frightened, because these people, they were all drinking, like they're very noisy, very boisterous, a lot of testosterone, etc. You could smell it in the air. But yes, I'm waffling as I often do. But the moral of the story is, it's the future for Jews in Ireland. It doesn't look very good. Ireland is becoming a very ugly place to live in, particularly if you're Jewish.